Welcome to UTB Blogcast number 26. We're here with me, Brad. We've got Dave. We've got Bartron. And we've got a little Australian elf, Wayno.
Wayno!
How are you guys?
Hey, when I say something, does it come across to you upside down?
And back to front.
Oh, all right. This is left. This is left.
So earnings call. I was wrong. I wasn't expecting much positive out of this.
Twice this, what, millennium? Or what day is it? I don't know.
Probably twice in the last hour or so, but...
Yeah, like when I got up.
But man, great call. Did we want to run through the numbers? If I run through them, I'm just reading them off of our site.
Well, go ahead and read off the numbers, and maybe we can talk about some of them if we have any brains. But just before you start, I will say one thing. That's rare. When I got up this morning, the radio's on, and the radio station that I always listen to, it's an AM station, and they always have the news and the traffic and the this and that. And one of the things that they always have going is some kind of a stock or financial comment. And without fail, every stinking quarter that BlackBerry does a report on, they have a comment on it. And of course, lately, you know, over the last few years, it's been, oh man, this is this and that, and it's all negative and it's all bad. Well, what do you think I was waiting for this morning when that section of the news came on? What do you think I was waiting for? Oh yeah, come on, let's see what you got to say. Nothing. Not a mention at all. Nothing. It's like,
didn't say anything. Nothing positive.
Did the guy take the day off? What happened? Did BlackBerry go to bit? What happened? And so of course I took to the internet immediately and got my fix that way. And then it sort of dawned on me, dude, you guys don't care unless it's bad news. And so here we go. Sorry about the segue there, but carry on. I thought that was bizarre.
That just shows that they're haters.
Mm-hmm. Like CBC, they suck.
Does CBC do something today?
No, just I don't know. Lately, the CBC has been actually pretty fair. And they basically state the facts, and that's it.
Okay.
Globe and Mail kind of goes back and forth. BNN, yeah, they sway from really positive to really trashing, not too objective, with the exception of Amber.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I mean, CBC, and for those of you people not from around here, that's the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation. They have been BlackBerry haters for I don't know how many years, at least 5 years, probably more than that, and to the point where they've been Apple toadies as if they were being paid by BGR. The thing is that CBC, Canadian Broadcasting Corporation, is funded by us, the taxpayer. Oh, yeah.
Not to mention the taxes paid by BlackBerry.
That's what I'm saying, man. So, you know, you got to wonder about a bunch of people who are being paid by the people would trash a local tech giant, you know, and always be a toady for Apple. They are Apple toadies. So I didn't get to read any of their stuff, Bartron, today, but I'm surprised to hear you say that.
No, they basically just state the facts and no real opinion in it.
Yeah, well, there you go. But they are one of the people that will put on paid. I can't remember the actual name of the style of advertising, but it's pretty common now where you make an article that isn't really true. It's subliminal advertising. It looks like an article, but it's not an article. It's
I know what you're talking about.
They're Apple toady bastards, those people.
Yeah, well, I mean, there are a lot of sites, and that was Apple's ace in the hole is that their customers, their loyal fans, basically buy anything at any price. If it's Apple, they'll buy it at anything at any price. They spend more. I saw a site, was it Christmas 2 years ago, I think? It was one of the Apple sites, I don't know, Mac Rumors or something like that. They were bragging about how much more money Apple fans spent during the holidays than fans of other platforms. They were bragging about it. The title, I think, was like, I'm serious. The title was something like, Apple users, or we blew the competition away, or something like that. Yeah. They're actually bragging about it. And that's the reason the whole. They
not cheap about spending.
they spend so much money. Advertisers and all the other businesses want to advertise to them. So of course, they don't want media outlets. They're going to cater to those fans because that's what these media outlets sponsors want to attract. It's sad. It makes me angry, but it makes sense. The big thing is that I think it was in the summer, maybe around August. I read that was some company, I forget who was tracking, doing an analysis of this, and they had found that the amount of money that Android users are spending was now skyrocketing, and it was coming close to being on par to Apple. And I'm starting to wonder if that's why now we see less Apple fanboyism in the media, and more of a neutral, and maybe even in some cases closer to Android, favoring Android. Or at least the places that I look at, that's what I seem to be seeing. So maybe that's it. But yeah, it drives me up the wall when I see that.
Apple.
One thing I will say, give CBC credit for, is one time they just suddenly switched on what was the business show they have, the Exchange or something. They suddenly switched and started bashing Apple. Like, come on, why is everyone going like this? They only have less than 12% of the market, and it's true. I mean, they're being treated like the king of the hill. Like they have 80% of the market, and at the time they had was 11.7. It went up again after the iPhone 6 went up to 19 point something, but it's back down. It's at the last numbers was about 2 months ago. It was 14 point something, anyways, but it's coming back down. So yeah, it does drive me up the wall when I see people acting like it's the dominant platform. And come on, 14% of the population.
Yeah.
Or market, I should say.
Yeah, it varies based on region. In North America, it's got much more penetration than it does worldwide in general, of course. And partially it comes down to pricing, of which theirs is retardedly high. But anyway, we are. I guess we're sort of off topic.
Totally.
Yeah. Today will go down as a historic day for BlackBerry. I'm sure of it, because people are finally realizing that the turnaround is happening. It's like.
I think so.
Chen has made some plans, and people didn't believe it, and they had their analysis of what they were planning to see today, and he beat on every line. BlackBerry beat on every line, and we should be cheering in the streets for that. It's like.
Well, I was, but I had to come in here and do this, so I'll go out after we're done. I'll be right back out there. I'll be right back out. Yeah, don't worry. No problem. Yeah.
Go grab your snow plow.
Yeah.
Yeah. One big thing about these numbers is that it's the first time that the revenue from software, the growth was greater than the drop in the system access fee.
Right. That's huge.
From the old system, so that is a huge thing. I mean, that's one reason why they're going to software, was because that drop in the SAF, as they call it, that was brutal, and that was really killing them. And
Yeah, we all knew that was coming because
Yeah.
I guess biz and stuff is just totally binning it kind of thing. You can't help that, but that's just the way it is, and we all knew what it was going to take to perform an increase in software revenues, and how long did it take? It took not exactly, because I don't think we're 110% of the way there yet, but at least we're at a crossroads and gone past a crossroads, I think, to be able to replace those revenues with what the new revenue stream is and ought to be, which is software as a service and BES and those kinds of things. With, let's face it, handset sales were up here, and software was down here, and revenue and services, and now it needed to come up here for software, and we're finally here. I think currently, and it's not where we want to be totally, but hardware, did they say hardware was 40% now?
I think so, something like that.
And so that makes sense. Yeah, it makes sense because we're not selling as many handsets as we want to. But the point is that those revenues are being replaced with software sales. So that's a very good thing. And whatever that noise was.
Yeah, that's. I got a cat running around my house right now.
Is it yours?
Yeah. She's mine.
Look, it's a cat.
There she goes. I feel like James right now with cats roaming around. She was where I couldn't get her before. You know what? I'm going camera dead for a minute here.
Yes. While Brad deals with pussy galore, we'll have to talk about something else.
Well, another big thing is that I was reading their year-to-date software revenue is $367 million.
Okay.
Which is 133 away from their 500 million goal. And so this quarter they produced was 161 million. So they should be able to surpass the 500 million by the end of the year. By the end of the year, next quarter.
That's
keep in mind also the ad hoc and the good? I know the good was closed in November. Ad hoc I think was around the same time. So
it's very close.
Yeah, so I don't know. I imagine I'm guessing here because I'm obviously not an accountant, but I'm guessing that they can't count the revenue of goods until the day closes. So they can't go retroactively and add it. But I'm just guessing as a armchair accountant. Nah, I'm not even an armchair accountant. I'm not any kind of accountant, but yeah.
What
so
a
I figured.
Chair. Like rocking chairs?
Armchair people aren't any type of that either.
I got
How about
sick
a stool?
up until a couple of podcasts ago, I was sitting on the bloody floor, and that was so uncomfortable. So now I got this fold-up chair, and I get to rock in it.
Yay! Furniture rules.
Yeah, so I figured next quarter it's going to be a full quarter of revenue from ad hoc and good. So I expect them to go way past the 500 million.
Yeah, the good thing, I mean, the good technologies thing. It's not the good thing. It's I wonder how much of it is a good type revenue coming in to BlackBerry coffers as it is to their contracts or their, you know what I mean? They're going to absorb good into BES. Does anybody think that's not going to happen?
No.
I think good will just go away. Right.
Yeah.
So how much of it is good sales and licensing fees being acquired and yearly revenue from that compared to BES sales? Because if I was a BES guy with my contract up, guess what's going to happen? The BlackBerry guys are going to come running in and want to just change the name and sign me up on a BES.
That's a good
Yep,
question.
I agree.
But I mean, in the end, it doesn't really matter. The
Exactly.
No,
revenues are up. The revenues have been
coins in the
chasing
coffer.
earnings call after earnings call.
Yeah.
And you know, not we, but BlackBerry showed growth this
I know.
time.
I did that too.
Yeah, I keep doing it. It's like a sporting team. You know, if
Yeah.
a Raiders fan can say we, damn it, I can say we about BlackBerry.
Right. Yeah. Too bad we're not talking about Nintendo. Oh shit, that was a bad joke. Oh well.
But yeah, okay. So revenue's been an issue. The other thing that's been chasing us, you've already talked about, is people saying, you know, we're losing the services income and we're not making it up in the software side. So that's thrown away. Trying to think of things that people have been chasing each of these earnings calls with, or even I've seen comments and I've seen. I'm not going to talk about channels tonight because there's some worthless stuff on there. But I saw comments on posts earlier today, you know, where they immediately wanted to know how many priv cells there were. I don't think there were many, you know, and Chen even said it on a BNN interview that it accounted for a small amount. I mean, there was what, 3 weeks worth of cells in this quarter on the priv?
I think it's 3, and you know, here's one of them. I know there was one.
Yeah. Well, it was extremely limited markets. I mean, you guys had access up there, you know, and that's fine because you live in maple and snow. But down here, only AT&T users had access to it. And I know there's a lot of Verizon users and a lot of T-Mobile users that are wanting the priv. Speaking to the Brits that are asleep right now, so we can say anything we want to say about them. But it sounds like Carphone Warehouse is the only ones that carry, and even then it might be like pulling teeth.
Well, I think what they're going to do is follow a pattern, and it's humanity, it's lemmings. It's if they see these people having success, and they're going to want to have success too. That's just the way it is. As far as rolling back to the amount of priv sales there's some math to be done. As far as Chen says, and I haven't done the math. I don't know.
Good luck with that, Matt. That's going to take some power there.
Yeah, I'm going to throw a number out there just for the hell of it and say that there's at the very minimum 200,000 to 250,000 privs out there. That's just me guessing, and that's now what was included in their queue. It's going to be less than that. It's probably going to be between 100 and 150 or something like that. I really don't know. So, you know, what's happened by today or this minute is not the same as what this queue is. So, I don't know. The point is that they're making more money on hardware than they were before, and that's looking a lot better. And ultimately, I think that the number of handsets that was stated that they needed to sell in order to break even is lowering.
It is
it's becoming a smaller number, right?
I think the last time I heard them say it, it's 3 million now, right?
Yeah, and so when you sell higher end handsets at a higher end price, the number of handsets that you need to sell in order to break even is a lower number. So it used to be 10, then it came 5, and now you're seeing 3, and that doesn't surprise me. And not that I'm saying that's an excellent end run game. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that we should be looking at the numbers that are going to be positive towards us retaining the handset business. And I think we're getting there. I think we're going to be there next quarter. I think that's where we're going to be next quarter. I'll bet you we're there.
Well, we're looking at a what, a 3-cent loss per share. Is that what it is?
Yeah.
and I put my 3 pennies in the envelope and I sent them there. So I hope that cancels it out. I'm done, man.
But I mean, that's incredible considering where we were just a short time ago. And
Yeah.
you know, we always talk about word of mouth and changing perception. This may be what it takes to change the perception of these analysts that just want to continue to bomb BlackBerry, which leads to blogs bombing BlackBerry, which leads to readers. I mean, it's you got to look at it as far as one thing leads to another, and today may be the thing that stops that.
It may be, and I was hoping it was going to be last quarter, but it truly does look like it actually is this quarter, and I've spent for years looking at an awful lot of websites and an awful lot of blogs like ours, and some of them better, some of them worse, or more, well-known or not. And the commenters on those sites, mostly, from a trading perspective, and some of the commenters on there are just the most bizarre people I've ever seen type anything into a website or with a keyboard in my entire freaking life. They're the most unbelievable people. And I won't name names, James, but you're an asshole.
Not our James.
No. This is just a guy who haunts Market Watch and Benzinga and a bunch of other places, and he's just an idiot. Him and some guy who I guess wishes to remain unknown because he calls himself anonymous. And both those people, which may or may not be the same people, are just terrible people. But anyway, they are nowhere to be seen. Nowhere to be seen.
They pulled a disappearing game today?
Yeah, nowhere to be seen. Like, what bad have you got to say? It's over, is what I'm saying. The badness is over. And even the idiots that like to post negative comments on Seeking Alpha articles. Bob Morgan. Hey, Bob, where are you, buddy? Covering your shorts, run away. It's starting to turn around. It's today's the day kind of thing. It's starting to turn around. Kia, hey, how you doing, Kia? You don't have a leg to stand on.
From Kia.
Yeah, I was chasing him around last night, I guess, but or her, I don't even know who it is. Anyway, I'm just saying that today, and it's way too soon to draw conclusions, but it's like, where are these horribly negative people? Well, they don't have a leg to stand on, so it's hard to say bad things. On top of that, go look at Apple shares. These are the people that are defending Apple, all of these people. All of them. They're all shills.
It's down 10% this month. Actually, 11%.
And then look over the year. It's not a good picture, people. And, BlackBerry people are maybe not ones to talk, but the tides are turning, I'm just saying. That's all I'm saying, is tides are turning. And, some people's shit does stink. And I think it's coming home to roost. It's starting to turn around. You see a lot more negative Apple articles than you've ever seen. In the last 3 months or 4 months, you've seen a lot more negative Apple articles than you have ever seen, ever, in the last 5 years.
And you're also seeing a lot more positive BlackBerry articles.
Exactly.
It's kind of funny. It's like we're almost on a teeter-totter. You need one for the other.
Yeah. So things change. The tides are turning. I don't know. And it may go up and down some more. It's not over today. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that more people are opening their eyes to two things. One, Apple's negativities. Two, BlackBerry's positives. That's what's happening out there. And Ian
But,
needs to know.
I'm starting to get people sending me emails, which is awesome, but sending me emails of their stories with different carriers. And I'm not even going to try and mention them right now, but I might try and piece them together into one post if I can get permission from them. But one person online was speaking to a salesperson who was talking about how the Priv is selling better than any of the former BlackBerries that they had. Had one person telling me they're on the East Coast in the U.S. that he went into a store and one of the workers there had a Priv and ended up having a long conversation where the workers were telling him how great the Priv is. And so, I mean, it's a completely different story. I'm sure we'll still get the same stories of people not knowing what BlackBerry is and trying to sell you a Samsung or Apple over it. But we're starting to get a few of those positive stories in, which is great. You know, it's like I want to hear more of them, and I need permission from people if I can reprint your story, by the way. But it's funny because I'm noticing it's our readers, obviously, because they're sending them to me, and they're all kind of doing the same thing. They're pretending they don't know about it. They're pretending that they are not there looking for a BlackBerry. They're just testing the workers. And if I know Dave remembers, if we go way far back from where we came from before, Bigley had a sales rep challenge.
Oh yeah, but that was
that idea.
Yeah, that was almost the beginning of the end of us.
It was halfway through the end of us, but I mean he got tossed aside for suggesting that we actually do that. And now, you know, people are doing that on their own and testing it out. You know, and I keep getting comments from people that are going into AT&T stores and actually going in and updating the apps on the display phones. You know, we've got it's awesome the real BlackBerry community, and we are proactive. You know, we're a proactive bunch that's out there trying to support our brand, and we need to grow that.
Well, hey, come on into the forums, say hello, and yeah, we can help with that. That's no problem, and it's kind of fun as long as you're not a dick about doing things. It's no problem to go into Carrier Store and go, hey, look over there. That's all wrong. You don't have to be a jerk. It's easy.
I was going through channels a few minutes ago, and we were talking about it, and over at Troll Patrol, BlackBerry Troll Patrol is not me, by the way.
Yeah.
I should have tried to get him on.
Who is it that thought it was you? Who said it was you?
Oh, we're not going to talk about that. But somebody seems to think we're the same person, which is really weird since he was on one of the podcasts before.
Well, it's not like one of our crew hasn't been, blamed for something they haven't done in the past.
Yeah, that's true.
It's funny.
Oh, they thought Nick and Blackjack were the same person. Oh man, I'm watching my mouth right now, but Troll Patrol has a post here. Looks like it's from Seeking Alpha. Mark Hibben. I don't know who this is. Which that's one way that you can know that I'm not Troll Patrol. I don't read Seeking Alpha. I know you do, Dave. I know you do, Bartron.
I definitely don't read Seeking Alpha. I stopped that like over a year ago.
I do. I love torturing people, so I'm there, and I love to try and set some people straight who are just off the rails. And there's people there, and I will name names. Kia SF investor, David 653, I think it is, and a couple other people, Bob Morgan. I don't know, and they're so outrageous. I just can't stand it. So I have to. I'm sorry, but I have to. I signed up, and I have to. I don't care. You guys.
This guy's gonna go after this guy because his headline: BlackBerry earnings, Priv fails to deliver. I guess this was right after the earnings call.
Yeah, I'm sure it does. Yeah. Okay, you're next.
It's comical to me how people. I mean, honestly, I was joking around before about being out in the street sharing, but this was a great day for us. It was everything that we were hoping would happen better than we planned. You know, I mean, I was hoping that we would meet those projections. I was hoping that we would show some growth, and we beat it on.
I'm pissed off at you, Brad. I'm pissed off at you because you were telling me this earlier before I got home. And as soon as I got home, I ran in the house and I grabbed my pots and pans and you know, stuff. And I went outside like it was New Year's Eve and started bashing it, you know, and making all this noise. And I'm thinking, Jesus, nobody else is doing it. What's going on?
Now I feel like an idiot. Living in an iPhone neighborhood.
Yeah. I feel like an idiot, and it's all your fault.
They didn't get the message.
Yeah,
it's caught up in an iMessage.
Yeah, it never got delivered.
No, yeah, exactly.
They'll get it tomorrow.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I'll hear all the bashing tomorrow then. Fair enough.
One thing that I know came out of the earnings call was the confirmation of release of 10.3.3. So, you know, there's been a lot of people banging on about BlackBerry 10 being dead. We've only just seen a release yesterday or the day before of an update, and not just a security update. There were definite improvements in there to the camera, additional features to blend. So that's good news too.
Yeah, that's nice. One thing I think I read, but didn't notice was that they removed. Did they remove BlackBerry meetings?
It was removed. I noticed it removed from the actual software update.
Right.
Still re-downloaded from the BlackBerry world.
Yeah. And that's a cool thing. I still have to highly recommend that people take a look at Zoom because it seems pretty good to me as a replacement.
You've tried that out, Dave?
I did. I've got it on my PC, my Passport, and my Priv, and it seems like a worthy. Well, it's the same thing. You know, it just doesn't have BlackBerry written on it. That's all. It's the same engine. It's the same thing. So, seems like a worthy replacement.
How does that integrate into the calendar? Is it the same as VBM meetings, where you go and schedule a meeting, like we usually schedule a meeting for our group, and we assign it to the group calendar, and everyone in the group gets notification of that meeting? Is that the same thing with Zoom?
No, it won't have its hooks into BBM's calendar.
They did say it had hub integration, so...
Yeah, you can invite people via BBM, absolutely, and that came with an update on the Priv, at least, because it wasn't there before. And on the BB10, I know you always could invite via BBM on BlackBerry 10. And on the PC, I don't remember. I can't remember what my choices are there. I think it's probably just email, but I'll have to check.
So we have updates. We have confirmation of, you know, we had a conversation going on in our channel comments. I will talk about our channel. where people are just, there's still people out there that are listening to other channels that are saying that
What?
saying BlackBerry's dead. You know, there's I understand that BlackBerry is putting development as far as the APIs on hold. They sent out that message to the developers, or it's not a message, but they put it on their website about the APIs. You know, they will develop them as needed if the need arises. So, you know, we're not expecting an Android player update. We're not expecting the rest of these little developer tools to be updated right now. But we need to understand that really BlackBerry at this point is a fairly decent OS with fairly decent tools. Actually, it's the world's best OS if you ask me. But it's
No. It is the best mobile operating system on the planet today. I don't want to talk about apps. I'm just talking about operating systems. It is the best. Had my mitts on 3 out of 4. Haven't done Windows Phone, but Apple, Android, and BB10. Sorry, you guys. BB10 is the undisputed. It is the best operating system on planet Earth for mobile, and it just is.
Well, the point is that we've been saying all along, in order for, you know, we want BlackBerry to be profitable. We want the Priv to make them profitable so that we could see the next BB10 phone. You know, that's our ultimate goal. That's what I think every one of us on here and everyone within, you know, the group that makes UTB blogs wants. So we've been wanting the same thing all along. So when today's news hits and we see we're right on the cusp of profitability and we're seeing better news than we expected, and we're getting confirmation of these updates from Chin, and not just maintenance. These are updates that's going to bring in another security certification. Which, why would you want another security certification on an operating system that you're just going to throw away, right? So as we're getting this information, people are jumping about saying, that's it, it's the end. You know, and how do we jump to that conclusion from today's results?
Well, it's easy. First thing you do is disable your brain, turn your brain off. That's the first thing you do, and it'll just come automatically.
That's pretty. You just described, you know, iPhone purchasing people. I just got an extremely hilarious BBM. Hi, Burke. You're a funny guy.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
I figured some of those Chicken Littles are just being particular ones in on running channels and blogs and and that they're just doing it just to trolling basically, clickbait. But as for the ones who don't, you know, I don't understand. You know, we discussed this one many times before when well first when the rumors that Samsung was going to buy BlackBerry, and then of course the rumors that BlackBerry's going to release an Android, and you know all the Chicken Littles come out and it's doomsday. You know, I saw it again on the forums, on the BlackBerry discussion forums about among developers, saying, oh, you know, they haven't given us a roadmap, therefore that means that they're dropping BlackBerry 10 and BB10 and they're going to something else. And I don't understand that reasoning. You know, I just look at the facts and say, well, okay, we don't have a clear path forward. That doesn't mean there is none. Maybe they're doing something else. They obviously have something up their sleeve. You know, they're not just drifting. They're just drifting along. But you don't know what it is, so just continue on. So I don't know. You know, it frustrates me when I see them because they're actually doing so much more harm to BlackBerry 10 It frustrates me, but I don't know. I don't know how to deal with it.
That's the thing, because if they were just off there mumbling in the corner to themselves like they should be, then it wouldn't be bothering anybody. But what's the problem is that other people are listening to them, and there can be a train wreck on another channel, and I could have taken part in it a couple days ago, and I could have sat back and watched laughing today as people were deleted and deleted and deleted time and time again until it looks like everybody agrees with them. But then it starts flowing into our channel, where it's like I'm seeing people make these comments, and these are fans. These are fans that I appreciate. I'm glad they're there, but they're making these comments, and it's like, I know where you're getting that from. And you want to say, stop listening to them, but at the same time, it's, why would I tell them to stop listening to them? They are telling them not to listen to me. They're telling them don't be a brat. But they can, it's like, just look at the source. This is what I was telling somebody in our comments. Look at the source. Everything that we write has a source. And if it's an editorial and an opinion, we know and we tell people it's an editorial and opinion, and it's okay for you to disagree with us. I wrote an editorial earlier this week, I think since the last podcast, where I had, I jumped into my armchair CEO, and I came up with a way that I thought would be great that, Google could terminate Apple by basically giving all of the little guys, BB10 and Selfish and I said Selfish, I wasn't talking about the other Selfish channel, but I was talking about Selfish and
look, man,
Selfish.
That's my kind of joke. You're trading my territory.
But by giving us Google Play services, not that I want them, I've got them. I've got them on a priv, and I'm really not finding anything useful for me. But by putting them on our phones, it increases their market share as far as their apps. It increases the amount of customers that they can sell to. It increases the amount of information they can harvest from us. So Google wins, and then it makes all of us have our operating systems that we want, and it pushes Apple out of the picture, because Apple is going to be the biggest issue with the IoT, because they want everything to be their own. So anything that we can do to get rid of Apple, I'm all for. But that was my idea, and I said it. This is just an idea. It's me jumping into the armchair CEO, and people are totally welcome to disagree with me, and they did. Even Anthony was making comments that I'm full on Google now. Thanks for that, Anthony. I'm really not. That wasn't a pro Google argument. That was let's all get together and. I mean, we all have opinions, and if we state an opinion, we should be willing to hear others' opinions. And if we're stating something as news or fact, there's a source. Go look for the source and judge for yourself, right? I mean, like when I read an article and it's got a source and I'm thinking this person is loony, I go and I read the source. And, sometimes they are loony. Today was a great day for BlackBerry. We had great results, confirmation that BB10 is continuing, and some people went the way of the dodo and took that to mean that BB10 is dead. Go back and look at what BlackBerry actually said. The call is available, the transcript is available. See what was said. Right?
Yeah, we saw that with Recode. It was a couple months ago.
Exactly.
Misquoting Chen. And then I went on Twitter and said, could you please post a link to the video of Chen's interview on the Recode, this whatever the conference, mobile conference, I forget what they call it. And they did. And when we watched it, whoa, that showed you a totally different story from what
Completely.
Recode had reported.
180 degrees.
And
Yeah,
huge difference.
cherry picking journalism, or I don't know what you'd call it.
Yeah, it wasn't just them. Who was it? Was it The Verge or one
Yeah.
one of those sites, anyways? Yeah,
It doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter what you think. It doesn't matter what you want to promote or degrade. You can find something to corroborate your opinion on the internet. It's so huge that it doesn't matter what you think. You can find somebody else that thinks so too, and use that as your weak or Wikipedia link. You know, it just doesn't matter. I don't care what you think. You can find someone else thinking the same thing on the internet.
But I don't think anybody was thinking the same thing today. You know, I mean, that
all
just
the haters
came.
shut their mouths.
Oh man, it was insane, and I don't understand how you leap from point A to point B when.
Yeah.
Anyway, I watched another BNN interview after the conference call with Amber, and she was asking about future Android devices. So as people are saying that BB10 is dead, it's all Android now, Chin wouldn't even give confirmation of that. He did it again the way he's been doing it, and he's saying, you know, these next 3 months will determine. And this is something that came out of Recode, where he's saying that, you know, what happens will determine, that the success of the priv will determine what's next. And he's talking about a possible future Android phone that would be still a premium phone, but at a lesser cost. I think it's safe to assume we're going to see that. We've seen renders that would look like a lesser cost of an Android phone.
So starting to sound like a $400 box.
Yeah. So it's I mean, I think that's obvious, and I don't think anybody would throw that out the window, but even the future of that, he's saying, is up in the air. It's all going to come down to if that device business can be profitable doing this. And if the device business can be profitable with a dual OS, they will do it. They're not going to throw away.
Go ahead.
Oh, I'm just saying. So say it's 700 device sales this quarter. Say it's 500 device sales next quarter, and I'm talking about BB10. This is a company that's wanting to make money. Can they make money selling 500,000 devices on top of Android phones? I believe they can. I think that, I mean, literally they could have the same hardware running two different OSs, and if they can be profitable on the Android side, would they throw away 500,000 BB10 devices on the BB10 side? No, you don't throw away money. You don't leave money on the table.
No.
So I mean, if we can, as fans, continue to promote BB10, and there's still people out there buying BB10. I heard from somebody today that his company is doing away with their Apple contract, and they're getting BB10 phones. I don't know how big that company is. Could be 1,000 people. It could be 10 people. I don't know, but there's still companies making that switch. So
and for good
Chin
reason.
isn't going to leave money on the table. What's that?
Yeah. And for good reason. I think what Chen's doing and has been doing, and it never really occurred to me until right now, is compartmentalizing things and making things into chunks. I need to do this, and so I'm going to put this here. And then when that happens, I'm going to put this chunk in front of it so that I know that I can do this chunk because I'm successful at that chunk. And then I'm going to have another one, and then I'm going to have another one. And it won't be until he has all of those chunks, those pieces together, it won't be until he has all those pieces together, those chunks, that he can go, now I have a long-range plan because I have all my chunk together. I've got this thing that I've built now. and now I can have a plan. And I think that plan, or I'm dearly hoping that plan, has some BB10 component in it. There will be some detractors here. Please say so in the comments. But I think that there has to be a BB10 component in there. And just to go back to what you were saying, Brad, BB10 can't die. There's too many contracts. There's too many endpoints. There's too many people invested heavily in it. It is obviously the most security-conscious end-to-end product with BES in the middle. You can't call it dead. It's impossible. So talk to us 2 years from now. I don't know, but today you can't say that. That's just a ridiculous statement. To say that it's dead is ridiculous.
Did you want to say that one more time?
Saying BB10 is dead is ridiculous.
I just like the way you said it, Dave.
Cheers.
I wish you could write it like that. I know where you could go write it.
Yeah. All right.
Well, anything
what
else?
What else have we got? I don't know. What else have we got? You know what's interesting? It's waking up in the morning and turning on your Priv phone and seeing there's 4,923 updates. Actually, that's ridiculous as well. But I do find that they're there an awful lot more often than I thought they would be. And where is this thing? Did I throw it in the toilet? No, there it is. The amount of updates that are coming from BlackBerry are excellent.
Yes.
I also like the fact that they are attempting to, and looks to me like they're starting to succeed to bypass the carriers. Now, that's a double-edged sword. I got my operating system update from TELUS, which was a good thing. But I'm getting my BlackBerry updates, of course, because they're apps, from BlackBerry themselves. And I really like that. I appreciate that. They can do that whenever they want. I think people need to understand that the goodness that comes in a Priv, which is the BlackBerry goodness, of course, does come from BlackBerry Direct, and it comes often. There's been piles of updates. I've only had this thing for a month and a bit, a month and a half, or I don't know what it is, month and a half. And the number of app updates on it are really rather impressive. Of course, some would say they're necessary, and it's early in this thing's life, and that's a fair comment too. But the fact of the matter is, it shows that BlackBerry is serious and proactive about updating their products. Where else was I going with that? Oh yeah. Also, for people who are Shop BlackBerry purchasers, in other words, you're buying it direct. I don't know if does that include Amazon? I don't think so. Maybe just Shop BlackBerry purchases. You're getting OS updates and patch updates directly from BlackBerry. Now, I have carrier-based units, so I have to wait. But the patches are coming direct. You see, it's almost an Apple thing is what I'm getting at. Right? You're getting updates around the carrier. Go ahead, Wayne.
That's for any unlocked phone, isn't it? Not just Shop BlackBerry?
Excellent question. I have unlocked BlackBerry BB10 devices, and I'm not convinced I've had... I don't know. I'll have to look that up. That's a good question.
I couldn't hear Wayno. What was the question?
when he was talking about updates not being on the carrier devices, just on the shop BlackBerry devices, I think it's for any unlocked device, not just necessarily the ones from BlackBerry Direct, but any unlocked device.
Not with BB10. With BB10, because I have some unlocked and I have some locked, and the unlocked versus locked makes no difference. Unlocked, I still get my updates from my carrier. Meanwhile, the Shop BB devices, they get it direct from BlackBerry.
Right. And I think that's the case here.
Yesterday, when the software update came out, I got it straight away on the passport, which is unlocked. It was brought online from a company in Hong Kong. And I also have a Z10 and a Z30 that are both unlocked. And I had to sideload that OS. It didn't come through over the air.
Interesting.
Well, some of us have asshole carriers too.
Yeah.
Like AT&T.
O2?
Yeah, the AT&T who is, so supportive of BlackBerry, right? They're the ones that they're making it known how supportive they are. The Priv OS update came out this week, and I got it. I got it immediately.
Yeah, and I don't have it.
You don't have it?
Mine's locked to TELUS.
Well, there's a BB10 app update too, and I've got the exclusive Priv, and I got my update, and I've got the AT&T exclusive passport, and nothing.
Yeah, well, it's not all the same stream then, is it?
Don't cross the streams, Dave. Don't cross the streams.
No, I won't. No. Ghostbusters. We all love that.
Glad somebody got it.
Yeah, I get it. It's all good. So where were we going with that? That was... what else we got? Anything?
I think we're nearing the end, and we have people asking for a year-end blogcast, and kind of clueless as to that. I thought it would be a great year-end to have the people that aren't generally on the blogcast do the blogcast, or at least make an appearance, or even a pre-tape video. But apparently our British friends are camera shy and lazy. They're always sleeping. They're sleeping right now. They're lazy. That's all there is to it.
I don't get it. I just don't get. Well, okay, let's be fair. Grimm came on once. He was incognito.
But at least he was here.
Yeah.
But the fact that I couldn't understand a blasted word he said,
Well, part of it was the mask or something he was on, because there's, it was like, it was worse than being on one of those shows where they want to remain anonymous, or we're protecting their identities for, so there was that, and then of course there's the accent, but.
I've been working on it. I've been watching Doctor Who, so hopefully the next time we have a Brit on, I can understand them.
Yeah. Well, you see, there's piles of different Brits. That's the thing. There's the Southern people. There's the Yorkies. There's all these kinds of different people, Londoners, and whatever. I'm a little more used to it than you are. I'm
not used to it at all. I just know they all make fun of each other.
No, you're not. You'd be better at a Spanish kind of an accent than I would be. I think I'd be bad at that. I think.
I know we've only got one polite Brit, and that's our app developer.
Yeah. He's polite.
Yeah. He is polite. He's a good guy. So if anyone has any good ideas for a year-end UTB Blogcast, or if you'd like to see or hear, say, a Bigley or a Nick or anybody else for that matter. They all have UTB email addresses. Let me know who you want to pester, and I'll give you their email address, and you can just fill up their box until they appear. How about that?
I completely agree with that, and I think pestering is necessary as far as
Bigley loves it. Bigley loves being pestered. You can call him. You can just show up at his front door. He loves it.
He's also a well-known narcissist, as far as from what I've read. He's a narcissist, and because of that, he'd really love for you to show up at his front door, and he wants to appear in public to many accolades, I should say.
See, here I thought it was masochists. I got it all confused.
Being on here is one thing, but he's a narcissist. Yeah. I think.
Oh, Burke is in a mood tonight.
Is he now?
Yeah. Okay. So, are we good? Are we good, guys?
Yep.
I'm not necessarily known as a good guy, but sure.
Well, good night. We'll see you next week at some point. Obviously not Friday. It's Christmas, and not all of us are heathens. Just Dave.
Hey, look, I got little Santa Claus right there. He said the tip of my finger. Ooh, sorry, Santa. Anyway, what? When's Christmas? It's next Saturday? Is that what it is?
Friday. It's
next Friday.
Saturday for Wayne, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, or something like that.
Friday.
So maybe I don't think. Are we having a blogcast before then?
We will find out. We'll decide what we're gonna do. We can do it before. We can do it after.
Okay. Because it's not like we don't care, because we really do.
Pester Bigley, guys. Pester him. It's Bigley Bobbly Boo at utbblogs.com.
PM his ass now. Do it
Let
now.
It go. Let it go and let it flow. And there was some great advice this week. That's going to be my sign off, not what I was told to sign off with. But don't be a Brad. And good night.
Hey, I'm a Dave, so I don't have to worry about that.
Good night.